on that list. Hey folks, let me take a few minutes to tell you how I got started in radio, and that would be this, that we're going to go back to 1986, 25 years ago, and I was a young lawyer. I've been a lawyer for 5 years and still a young man, and I was strictly listening to the radio, but strictly FM, rock and roll is what I listened to. My mother lived here in Orlando as well, and she listened to an AM station called AM 740 WKIS. It was a talk radio station, and that was back in the days when AM 740 WKIS, Gene Burns was on it, Clive Thomas was on it, Jim Phillips was on it, and there was a Monday through Friday show from noon to 2 called At Your Service. It was hosted by Lynn Levine. And my mother called me on the telephone one day, and she goes, "Tom, you should call Lynn and offer to be her lawyer expert." I called Lynn. She had me on her show called At Your Service. Things went well. She had me back, and within a couple of months, the radio show station, AM 740 WKS, gave me my own radio show, and that's how we got started. Back in the early days of my Olsen Law radio show, again, I've been doing it for 25 years, it was all about interviewing lawyers and interviewing judges and legal experts, and very little caller driven. And so in a lot of radio stations, program directors come and go, and there was a program director that came along. His name was Ken Charles, and Ken was in the radio business. I'm not sure where he is now, but Ken insisted that I stop doing guest interviews and I start answering legal questions. And so I remember, I heard him say those words, and I kind of, went in one ear and went out the other. And one day I'm in the station getting ready to do my radio show. I actually have a judge there with me. He's going to be my guest today. And Ken Charles comes up and he gets in my face, goes, "Tom, I told you, no more guests. Why is he here? No more guests today. I want you in that studio by yourself." That was the last day I had a guest. The next week I went in the studio all by myself to answer legal questions. Very nervous about what might happen. And I had asked my friends and family, I'd given them some legal questions to call in during that radio show, just so I know I'd have callers. And I had planted some legal questions, and some good legal questions, and that's where, so that's how it all got started with the Olsen Law format, where it's a question and answer format.
So Tom, tell me this, the program director, clearly he had an idea that you needed to do the question and answer format. Do you know, or did he at any point share with you why he was thinking to do that, knowing that most radio at the time was exactly like you?
Yeah, well, program directors, they are in charge of making brilliant radio, and that's what he thought it would take, and it worked out well. And I remember one of the first questions that I had somebody call in was, what was the rule of 78ths? And I was all ready to go with that one. People often ask me when I'm done with the radio show, I'll be somewhere and they go, "Tom, did you have a good show today?" And I'll say, "Yeah, I got a few good questions." And they'll go, "Well, what is a good question?" And my standard response is, a good question is one that makes me look very smart. So that's my idea of a good question. But I've been doing a radio show for 25 years, folks. That's 1,400 radio shows and about 20,000 legal questions. Just the other day, somebody asked me, "Tom, surely there is a question that people ask you over and over again," and the answer is no. They all have a different twist on it. They are all different. I've never had the slightest inkling of a thought that said, if I get that question one more time, I'm going to go insane. Nothing at all like that. It's all different.
And that's why, too, Tom, I think because they are all different, one of the things that I know that listeners compliment you on is that you will be quick to tell them you don't always know the answer. And if you don't know the answer, you will reach out to other Central Florida lawyers to help you out.
Yes, folks, while we're on that point, let me say 1,400 radio shows, 20,000 legal questions. I have had much help from other lawyers here in the Central Florida area, just by the fact if I'm out of town, one of them takes my place. And I invite people to call me and email me with legal questions, so I typically answer about 10 email legal questions per day. A lot of those I simply forward them on to the lawyer who's got expertise in that area of the law. So yes, there have been a lot of lawyers out there, continue to be a lot of lawyers that help me do this radio show and do the 11 lawyers. And part of 11 lawyers is acknowledging the lawyers that have helped me over the years. That's part of our stated mission with the 11 lawyers radio show.
Part of